Hello, please draft a divorce agreement for me. Iris Lane dialed her lawyer, and after briefly confirming the details of the divorce, she hung up the phone. Suddenly, a chubby little hand tugged at her sleeve. Sunny's large, round eyes were moist with tears. "Mom, are you really going to divorce Uncle?" After a moment of silence, she sighed deeply, her face etched with exhaustion. "Yes, being with him is too tiring. Mom doesn't want him anymore. Will you come with Mom, Sunny?" As she spoke, Iris gently rubbed Sunny's head. Sunny's hand slowly slipped away, and he hesitated before speaking. But Uncle kissed you today, and he let me ride on his shoulders. He loves us, doesn't he?" Looking into her son's eyes, filled with expectation, Iris felt her own eyes redden. How could she tell him that no father makes his own biological son call him Uncle? Especially since Ethan Wright had only acted that way because he was happy and dead drunk today. He was happy because the ex-girlfriend he deeply loved, Sylvia Sterling, had returned to the country. In college, Ethan Wright and Sylvia Sterling were the campus heartthrob and the prom queen, the university's famous golden couple. Iris Lane was just an ordinary, invisible admirer. She had a secret crush on that brilliant young man, but never dared to voice her feelings. She watched helplessly as he got together with Sylvia, watched them study in the library, eat in the cafeteria, and kiss passionately in the hallways as if no one else existed. She was like a spectator in a dark corner, stealing glimpses of their happiness. Until graduation season, on the eve of Ethan's planned proposal, Sylvia abruptly dumped him without warning and went abroad. When he finally tracked her down, he only received news of her flash marriage to someone else. From then on, the golden boy fell from grace. Heartbroken and decadent, he collapsed completely, becoming a regular at bars, never returning until he was drunk. Worried something would happen to him, Iris secretly followed him but dared not appear before him. However, an accident happened. A girl took a liking to his shockingly handsome face. After he ignored her advances several times, she secretly spiked his drink. That night, it was Iris Lane who saved him. She took him away and helped him detox. But because of that one accident, she carried his child. Ethan married her out of responsibility, but kept their marriage hidden for 5 years. Because he didn't love her, he was indifferent and completely cold towards her. Because he didn't love her, he also disliked the son she bore, Sunny, and forbade Sunny from calling him Dad. When Sunny was learning to speak and called him Dad for the first time, Ethan turned coldly and left, not returning home for a whole month. When Sunny got a red flower at school and excitedly came home to call him Dad, Ethan pushed him away, letting Sunny fall and cut his head. When Sunny got carsick and called him Dad for the 3rd time, Ethan threw him out on the highway. On the highway, Sunny cried in the rain all night and almost lost his life. Now, Ethan had finally waited for the person he loved to return. Iris crouched down and hugged her son tightly, her heart bitter, tears blurring her vision. She didn't want to burst the child's bubble, so she remained silent. At that moment, Ethan's drunken muttering drifted out from the room. His usually cold voice now held an indescribable tenderness. "I will learn to be a good father." Sunny only heard that sentence and looked excitedly at Iris, his eyes sparkling. "Mom, did you hear that? Uncle said he would be a good father. Will he love me from now on?" Iris forced a bitter smile, her heart aching. Sunny hadn't heard clearly, but she had. The name Ethan had called out just moments before was clearly Harry, the son Sylvia had brought back with her. He would rather be a father to Sylvia's son than to his own biological son. Iris avoided Sunny's question and changed the subject. "Sunny, let's leave. This place doesn't belong to us." The smile on Sunny's face froze, and the light in his eyes instantly dimmed. He said pitifully, "Mom, a divorce requires a 1-month cooling-off period, right? As long as Dad is good to us just once in these days, can we stay?" Iris fell silent. She knew that wasn't possible, but meeting Sunny's expectant gaze, her heart softened, and she couldn't bear to disappoint him. "Okay, but if he doesn't cherish the chance, we will forget him forever." Miss Sunny was overjoyed and nodded heavily. The next day, Ethan came downstairs. Sunny carefully held a freshly made sandwich and walked up to him with small steps, his eyes full of admiration. "Dad, I learned to make sandwiches. I made this for you with my own hands." Ethan's eyes instantly darkened, and he pushed him away with a cold face. Sunny lost his balance and fell to the ground. The plate crashed onto him, and the exquisite sandwich broke apart, scattering on the floor and making his face dirty. Ethan turned a deaf ear to it, his voice carrying a chilling coldness. "If I hear you call me Dad one more time, I won't come home again." He then looked at Iris, who was walking over. "Control your son." As soon as the words fell, Ethan slammed the door and left with a cold face. Iris watched this scene, feeling as if a knife were twisting in her heart. Tragically, this had been her and her son's life for 5 whole years. Heartbroken, she quickly helped Sonny up and wiped his face. "Sonny, does it hurt anywhere?" Sonny's eyes were red, and he shook his head, his voice nasally. "Day 1, Uncle didn't cherish us. Mom, there are 29 days left. If he doesn't cherish us again, we will leave forever, so Uncle can never find us again." Iris wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes, forced a smile, and agreed with heartache. "Okay, if he doesn't cherish us, we'll let him never find us again." For several days, Ethan didn't return home. Iris prepared for their departure, booking flight tickets abroad and handling the passports for herself and her son. On her way back, her university majors group chat, which had been silent for a long time, suddenly started vibrating frantically. "The reunion we scheduled is today. Don't forget, everyone." After the organizer spoke, a group of people chimed in, saying they were almost there. Since she was leaving soon and might never have the chance to see some old friends again, Iris scrolled through the messages. Thinking that it was still early before Sonny got out of school, she decided to go. As soon as she walked into the private room, her university roommate Lena Miller enthusiastically pulled her to sit down. The class president counted the heads. "Almost everyone is here, except for our prom queen and campus heartthrob." The mention of these 2 prominent figures instantly ignited the entire room. "I'm wide awake now that you mention them. Do you remember? Back then, the 2 icons were so passionately in love at school, practically making us all look like NPCs. For the prom queen, the heartthrob got into fights, cut the power, and set off fireworks. It could have been written into a romance novel. Who knew they would suddenly break up later? Fate really toys with people." Before the words settled, the door to the private room was pushed open again. Ethan and Sylvia walked in side by side, attracting everyone's gaze. The atmosphere in the room instantly reached its climax, and a crowd swarmed around them. But no matter how many people surrounded them to talk, it was as if a natural barrier formed between them that no one could penetrate. Ethan naturally peeled fruit for Sylvia and ordered her a drink. Seeing her shiver, he immediately took off his jacket and draped it over her. The level of attentiveness made people click their tongues. Someone quickly teased, "Ethan, Sylvia, after you broke up back then, everyone thought there was still a chance for you two." "Yeah, when you suddenly broke up, Ethan was depressed for a long time, spending all day in bars. He wouldn't talk to anyone. He only reacted when Sylvia's name was mentioned. Ethan waited for you for days at the proposal site he prepared back then. No one could drag him away. I heard Sylvia got divorced and returned to the country. Seeing how close you two are now, is there good news coming soon?" Sylvia blushed and subconsciously looked at Ethan to see his reaction. He only curled his lips slightly and did not deny it. Everyone took it as a tacit confirmation, and screams and jeers filled the air. Iris sat in the corner, her fingernails digging deep into her palms, the expression on her face barely maintained. He wasn't divorced yet. His lawful wife was sitting right here, yet he let others matchmake them. How ridiculous. Then someone started clamoring to play a game, and everyone joined in. At first, it was just simple little punishments, but gradually the stakes got higher, yet everyone carried out their penalties. In this round, Sylvia lost. She casually drew a punishment card. Kiss the opposite sex on your left for 10 seconds. When the content of the card became clear, the entire room fell into a dead silence. If the card task wasn't completed, she had to drink 10 glasses of ice wine. However, the first man sitting to her left was not Ethan. "Well, Sylvia, maybe you should just drink." Sylvia didn't want to carry out this punishment either and looked very troubled. "I'm allergic to alcohol, I can't drink." "Forget it, I accept my loss." Saying that, she took a step, preparing to kiss the first man on her left. The next second, her whole body was pulled back by another force. Ethan, with a dark face and extreme possessiveness, pulled her into his arms. Before anyone could react, he directly pushed away the person to Sylvia's left, sat down, held the back of her head, and kissed her lips. In an instant, the whole room boiled over. "Holy cow, Ethan," it said, "kiss the man on the left. You were sitting on the right." After the kiss, Ethan looked composed and calmly sat down in the seat to the left. "No violation. I am sitting on Sylvia's left now." The card didn't specify when the seating arrangement started counting. Iris's mind went blank, and her whole body felt cold. She didn't expect him to disregard her presence completely and kiss Sylvia right in front of her. Not even caring about what her reaction might be, his expression was as cold as ever. Even when their eyes met for a moment, he didn't seem to think anything was wrong. Even though she had already decided to give up completely, watching this scene helplessly, Iris's heart still felt like it was being pierced by needles, riddled with holes and bleeding profusely. "Iris, you lost this round," the person next to her nudged her, and Iris realized the game had moved to the next round at some point, and the bottleneck was pointing at her. She took a deep breath, tried her best to suppress her emotions, and drew a card. "Say the name of the person you like." Several gossipy roommates instantly had eyes lighting up. "Iris, I remember you always had someone you liked in college. You bought him water every day, sent him medicine, and often sent him anonymous gifts. You wouldn't say who it was back then, no matter how we asked. After so many years, you can tell us who he is now, right?" Ah, Iris was always busy studying back then, a top student. She had a secret crush? Who is it? Who is it? Iris clenched the card tightly and subconsciously looked at Ethan. However, his eyes only held space for Sylvia. She curled her lips in self-mockery and spoke as if punishing herself. "The person I like is named." Before she could finish her sentence, the glass chandelier above suddenly came loose and smashed down violently. And directly below the chandelier were the positions of her and Sylvia. In a flash, before anyone could react, Ethan grabbed Sylvia and shielded her tightly in his arms. Iris's pupils constricted. She wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Crash! Countless glass shards exploded, piercing deeply into her shoulder. Blood flowed down her arm. The pain made her face turn pale, and cold sweat covered her forehead. And at this moment, she heard Ethan nervously asking about Sylvia. "Sylvia, how are you? Are you hurt?" Anyone with eyes could see that the one bleeding profusely was her. "I'm fine." Sylvia couldn't help blushing at his concern. Realizing it was inappropriate, she changed the subject. "Iris is hurt pretty badly. We were standing together just now. Why didn't you protect her?" Ethan's tone was icy and indifferent. "I only care about you. I don't care about other insignificant people." Hearing this, Iris stiffened all over. Insignificant? 5 years of marriage, and she was just insignificant. She lowered her eyes and laughed softly until tears came. Then, clutching her continuously bleeding shoulder, she gritted her teeth and used the first aid kit the waiter found to simply treat the wound. With such an incident, the reunion gradually dispersed. After bandaging her wound, Iris hurried to pick up Sunny, her steps quickening. "Iris," Sylvia's voice suddenly came from behind. She rushed forward and grabbed Iris's hand. "Why are you running so fast? You didn't drive, did you? You're hurt so badly, I'll take you to the hospital. No need, I'm fine." Iris politely declined her kindness. "I'm in a hurry to pick up my child from kindergarten." Fortunately, she was wearing black clothes today, so the bloodstains weren't obvious. Covered by her coat, the injury wasn't very visible. "You're hurt like this. Let your husband pick up the child," Sylvia complained. Iris was silent for a moment, then said coldly, "I don't have a husband." After all, having this husband or not seemed to make no difference. Just as the words fell, Ethan was walking out from inside. Hearing this, he gave her a deep look but said nothing. Iris hailed a taxi and headed to the Royal Kindergarten of the city. Unexpectedly, as soon as she got out of the car, she saw the people she had just parted from. "Iris, your child goes to this kindergarten too. My child just transferred here. What a coincidence, let's go in together." Sylvia smiled and linked arms with her, not noticing the fleeting, unnatural look on Ethan's face. Iris didn't know why Sylvia was suddenly so enthusiastic towards her. She clearly remembered that in school, Sylvia was arrogant and wouldn't even look at ordinary classmates like them. But one doesn't slap a smiling face. In the end, she said nothing and walked into the campus with her. However, as soon as they entered, Iris noticed something was wrong. The noisy sounds from the play area drifted over, but now they were mixed with a familiar crying sound. It was Sunny. She subconsciously quickened her pace, only to see two children tightly gripping parts of a Transformer toy, neither willing to let go, shoving each other. "Give it back, this is mine." Tears were swirling in Sunny's round eyes. His small face was written with stubbornness. His fingers were white from gripping so hard, but he still wouldn't let go. Harry tugged at the toy arrogantly. No, I just like this toy." After speaking, Harry acted viciously, pushing Sunny directly to the ground, and finally looked with satisfaction at the toy he had snatched. Sunny Iris rushed over and helped Sunny up with heartache. Seeing his mother, Sunny's tears fell uncontrollably. He choked out an accusation. "Mom, he grabbed my toy. I can give him anything else, just not this." Seeing the somewhat dusty Transformer, her heart ached with bitterness, feeling wronged for her son. That was the toy Ethan had casually thrown to Sunny the night he was drunk. Sunny treated it like a treasure, cherishing it immensely, reluctant to even take it out to look at it usually. But unexpectedly, it was snatched away by Harry. Sylvia walked over, squatted down to hug Harry, and scolded gently. "Harry, how did Mommy teach you? Whatever you want, Mommy can buy for you. How can you push someone just for a toy?" Harry glanced at Sylvia, then quickly ran to Ethan, hugged his leg, and subconsciously lied, "Daddy Ethan, I didn't push him. He fell by himself. I just liked this toy and wanted to borrow it to play." Ethan bent down and picked him up, doting on him unconditionally. "I know, Daddy Ethan believes you." Iris's breath hitched, feeling only grievance for her son. They had walked over together. Ethan clearly saw the whole process with his own eyes. How could he distort the truth to believe Harry's words, just because this was the son of his darling first love? So he held him in the palm of his hand too? What about Sunny? This was his biological son. She suppressed the bitterness in her heart, shielded Sunny behind her, and gritted her teeth. Everyone saw the facts just now. "Miss Sterling, your son should apologize to my son." Sylvia's smile faded a little. "Iris, it was indeed wrong of Harry to do that, but it's just a toy, nothing big. How about we let it go? We are classmates, there's no need to be so calculating." "We are classmates indeed, but no matter who it is, if they bully my son, they should apologize." She had suffered grievances for so many years, and so had her son. Now wanting to bully her son again? Impossible. Just as the atmosphere stagnated, Sunny looked at Ethan with red eyes, grabbed his pant leg, hoping he would say a word for him. "Uncle, Harry grabbed my stuff and pushed me on purpose. Mom just wants him to apologize to me." But Ethan just held Harry and looked at him coldly. "Harry is just a child. How much strength can he have? Aren't you unhurt? Don't make a mountain out of a molehill." Saying that, he took Sylvia's hand, forcefully protecting the mother and son, and turned to leave. Iris chased after them without hesitation, blocking their way. "You are not allowed to go. Harry must apologize to Sunny." A chill flashed in Ethan's eyes, and he said coldly, "Since you insist, fine, I apologize on Harry's behalf." "Sunny, Harry shouldn't have grabbed your toy. I say sorry for him. Are you satisfied now?" After finishing, he didn't care about the reactions of Iris and Sunny and walked straight past them. Sunny hung his head low, tears swirling in his eyes. Uncle apologized to him, but he wasn't happy at all. Uncle defended Harry like that, something he had never experienced. Tears rolled down one by one, hitting the ground, wetting the pavement. He cried so hard he couldn't make a sound. Iris's heart ached terribly. She hugged her son tightly, holding back her tears, patted his back, and wiped his tears. "Mom, is that Auntie the person in the photo Uncle looks at every day?" Sunny sobbed, his eyes red, looking at her aggrievedly. For a moment, she didn't know how to explain. She didn't expect him to have noticed this. She could only remain silent. Sunny asked with a crying voice, "Is it because Uncle likes that Auntie that he likes Harry too?" Iris could no longer suppress her sorrow. She choked back a sob and blamed herself. "I'm sorry. It's Mom who let you down. It's not Mom's fault, it's Dad." He wiped away her tears. "Mom, Uncle didn't cherish the chance we gave him today either. He doesn't have many chances left." Yes, his chances were running out. For the next few days, Ethan did not return home again. Iris, however, could see the content updated on Sylvia's social media every day. In the past few days, Ethan had been by the side of Sylvia and her son every day. On the first day, she and Sunny ate at home, the house filled with an indescribable coldness. Yet he personally cooked for Sylvia and her son, researching recipes that suited their tastes, peeling shrimp for Sylvia, making animal-shaped rice balls for Harry, and coaxing Harry to eat. On the second day, Sunny fell at kindergarten and came back alone with red eyes and blood on him, while Ethan was flying kites in the park with Sylvia and Harry. On the night of the third day, a fierce wind blew and thunder rumbled incessantly. Sunny was too scared to sleep, and no matter how Iris comforted him, it was useless. But at this time, Ethan held Sylvia and Harry in his arms, coaxing them softly. Seeing these photos, the longing in Sunny's eyes pierced her heart deeply. A thick sadness lingered in her heart, but she didn't know how to comfort Sunny. In the middle of the night, Sunny's temperature kept rising, reaching a high fever of 40 degrees Celsius 104 degrees F. Iris was in a panic, but no one accepted her ride-hailing request on her phone. It was pouring rain outside. At this hour, there were pitifully few cars on the road. The wound on her shoulder hadn't fully healed yet. She couldn't drive at all. "Uncle, Uncle, I miss you so much." Sunny was delirious from the fever, mumbling nonsense. Iris felt as if her heart was being squeezed hard. It hurt. "Sunny misses Uncle, right? Hold on, Uncle is a doctor. Mom will call him right now, ask him to take you to the hospital, ask him to treat you." Beep, beep. She didn't know how many calls she made to Ethan, but still, no one answered. Overwhelming despair almost drowned her. Sunny's body temperature in her arms was frighteningly hot. She couldn't wait any longer. Iris couldn't care less. Hugging Sunny, wrapped in unknown layers of raincoats, she rushed into the rain without looking back. "Sunny, Sunny, Mom's baby, you absolutely cannot have anything happen to you." She walked quickly towards the hospital holding Sunny, muttering incessantly. A car passed by after a long time. She ignored everything and rushed over to stop it. "I beg you, my son has a high fever. Please give me a ride to the hospital. He really can't hold on," Iris begged hoarsely. Hearing the words, "son, high fever," the driver's face changed instantly, afraid the child would die in his car. "No, no, find someone else." Saying that, he turned the steering wheel and stepped on the gas to leave. The glimmer of hope that had just ignited was dashed, but she couldn't care about sadness and struggled to hurry towards the hospital. As she walked, she repeatedly checked the condition of Sunny in her arms. His usually fair and tender face was flushed red, his lips were pale and peeling, his eyelids were droopy, and he kept talking nonsense. "Uncle, Uncle, hug me." Iris felt heartbroken. She didn't know how many cars she had stopped or how many times she had been refused. She had long since let go of all dignity, begging time after time. Until finally, a car stopped. Iris knelt weakly on the ground, praying with a hoarse voice, "Save my son. He's burning up. Please, I can't live without him." The female driver couldn't bear it and opened the car door directly. "Hurry up and get in, I'll take you to the hospital." The car sped all the way to the hospital where Ethan worked. Iris calmed down a little. After thanking the driver repeatedly, she rushed into the hospital. "Nurse, please help me find the surgeon." "Dr. Ethan Wright, our son has a high fever and needs to be admitted to the emergency room." Iris grabbed a nurse randomly and said anxiously. The nurse looked at her disheveled appearance, pushed her hand away, and said in an unkind tone, "Ma'am, even if your son needs emergency care, don't use such an excuse to pull strings and cut in line, okay?" "Doctor, Wright's son also has a cold and fever. He and his wife are taking care of the child in the ward right now. Even if you tell lies, look at the reality." Hearing this, Iris felt struck by lightning. She looked up and sure enough, through the glass door of a nearby ward, she saw Ethan gently wiping Harry's face. So, the reason he didn't answer the phone was that he was taking care of Sylvia's child? Trembling, she called him again. The phone on the bedside table rang incessantly. Ethan glanced at it casually, but had absolutely no intention of answering. Sylvia couldn't help saying, "Ethan, this phone has rung many times. Aren't you going to answer it?" Ethan looked indifferent. "It's an unimportant person. No need to answer." Hearing this, tears instantly burst from her eyes. Iris's heart ached so much she could hardly breathe. Her son in her arms was dying. She had no choice but to grab a passing doctor and kneel down with a thud. "Please save my son." After being rushed into the operating room, Sunny finally escaped danger after an unknown amount of time. After taking care of him for a day and a night, Sunny finally woke up. After glancing around the ward, the expectation in his eyes visibly turned into disappointment. His eyes red, he said, "Is Uncle not here? I dreamed Uncle was taking care of me the whole time. It turns out it was all fake." It would have been better to stay in the dream. Thinking of the scene yesterday, Iris felt a tearing pain in her heart. Trying her best to suppress her emotions, she said, "He should be busy. Sunny, be good, let's recover well first." Just as Sunny was about to nod, Ethan's voice suddenly came from outside the ward. Sunny's eyes lit up instantly. He quickly climbed out of bed and chased after the sound. "Uncle," but as soon as he ran out, he saw Ethan walk into another ward without stopping. Then he picked up a bowl of porridge, tested the temperature, and fed it to Harry spoonful by spoonful, his eyes gentle. "Good boy, eat more so you can get well soon." Iris rushed out, just in time to see Sunny standing outside the ward, staring blankly at this scene. "Sunny, let's not watch, okay?" Holding back her tears, Iris picked up the child. Sunny smiled forcefully. "Mom, I want to watch a bit more. Uncle has never been like this to me." Her tears could no longer be controlled and finally burst forth. Sunny seriously wiped her tears with his small hand. "Mom, it's okay. Uncle doesn't have many chances left." Just as he finished speaking, the ward door was suddenly pushed open. Ethan walked out, his face dark, and asked coldly, "What chances?" Just as Iris was about to speak, Ethan frowned. "What are you doing standing here? If you need me, go somewhere else. Don't stand here blocking people passing by." Seeing his eyes searching for someone in the distance, he seemed a bit nervous. She understood immediately. He didn't want Sylvia to see them and misunderstand. But they were originally his wife, his son. What exactly was there to misunderstand? Iris laughed at herself, took Sunny's hand, and followed Ethan to the stairwell. "Why did you call me so many times yesterday?" His expression was cold, even slightly annoyed. Annoyed about what? Disturbing his time with Sylvia. "Sunny had a high fever last night, 40 degrees. I wanted you to take him to the hospital. Do you not have hands? Can't you drive yourself?" Ethan's deep eyes were full of impatience. Iris laughed self-deprecatingly. "I was injured by the falling chandelier in the private room that day. Did you forget?" Only then did his eyes show a slight fluctuation. After a pause, his expression softened slightly. "Since he's almost better now, I'm leaving." As Ethan turned to leave, Sunny suddenly grabbed his hand. "Uncle, I've been very good lately. I haven't used the wrong address. My birthday is in 5 days. Can you celebrate my birthday with me?" Just this one day, he looked at Ethan anxiously. Ethan fell silent, delaying his answer. Just as Sunny thought his wish would fall through, Iris suddenly spoke. "Just keep him company on his birthday. You haven't spent it with him once in these years. I beg you. I won't be there that day, rest assured." Saying this wasn't easy for her either. She knew he didn't want to spend the birthday with Sunny because she was there, so she wouldn't make it difficult for him. Upon hearing this, Ethan was silent for a moment, then finally nodded. "I will come to pick you up that day." After getting a positive answer, a smile finally appeared on Sunny's face. Over the next few days, because of this promise, Sunny was incredibly happy. The smile on his face couldn't be stopped, and he was so excited he couldn't sleep at night. Medicine he couldn't swallow before, he forced down voluntarily just to get discharged early. After being discharged, he kept picking and choosing at home. The clothes to wear on his birthday, he tried on over and over again until he finally decided. The wish to make on his birthday, he had already thought of. Seeing Sunny so happy for a change, Iris was happy for him too, only hoping he would get his wish that day. The day before his birthday, Sunny knocked on Ethan's door, holding a clay doll with a face full of anticipation. "Uncle, I made this in craft class. It's for you." Iris knew that to make this craft, his tender fingers were worn and cracked. He had obviously made it repeatedly countless times to make this one perfect doll. Ethan picked up the clay doll, looked at it a few times, and inexplicably felt it looked familiar. The clay doll was chubby, the features were generic, wearing a red dress, and there was a mole under the eye. His sharp eyes narrowed. "Where did you see this image?" Sunny didn't think much, assuming Uncle was showing interest, and excitedly asked for praise. "I saw a clay doll in the study. It must be something Uncle likes very much, so I imitated it and made a similar one. Does Uncle like it?" Hearing this, Ethan's face changed instantly. The clay doll in his hand crashed to the floor, shattering instantly into fragments. His heart tightened, and he rushed quickly to the study, searching the display cabinet. Only when he saw that the clay doll resembling Sylvia was still intact, did he gradually relax and breathe a sigh of relief. Looking at Sunny, who had followed him with an anxious face, he shouted sternly. "Don't enter my study and touch my things casually in the future. I am not your father, and I don't need you to give me handmade gifts." Sunny held the fragments of the clay doll, tears rolling down continuously. His hands were cut, and his heart was broken to the extreme, but he still refused to let go of those pieces. Iris's heart ached terribly, feeling wronged for him. She found the medicine and applied it with the gentlest movements, coaxing him. "Sunny did nothing wrong. If Uncle doesn't cherish the gift you gave him, Mom will cherish it." Sunny sobbed and nodded. Just then, Ethan received a call from Sylvia. "Ethan, Harry made a gift in craft class and insists on giving it to you tomorrow. I really can't do anything with him." Immediately, Harry's whining voice came from the phone. "Daddy, Ethan will like the gift I made myself, right?" Ethan's tone softened. "Of course. Whatever gift Harry gives me, I like it. Tomorrow, after I receive the gift, I'll put it in the safe and treasure it, okay?" Hearing this distinctly different attitude, Sunny was already crying uncontrollably. Iris carried him away, comforting him gently. "Sunny, be good. Tomorrow is your birthday. Don't cry anymore, or the photos tomorrow won't look good. Didn't you want to take a few photos with Uncle?" "Okay, I'll listen to Mom. I won't cry. Although Uncle broke my gift, tomorrow is my birthday, and I still want to spend it well with him." Sunny wiped his tears himself and closed his eyes to sleep. The next day was Sunny's birthday, which happened to be a weekend. He waved happily to Iris. "Mom, I'm going hiking with Uncle. Bye-bye." She nodded and watched Sunny leave, hoping he would have a perfect birthday. However, by evening, neither Sunny nor Ethan had returned home. Iris felt inexplicably uneasy. Suddenly, her phone rang. It was the first time Ethan had actively called her. After quickly answering, Ethan's cold voice came through. "Iris Lane, your son is on the mountain and hasn't come back yet." Instantly, Iris's ears buzzed. She couldn't believe what she heard, completely stunned, and asked subconsciously, "What do you mean by that?" "It means exactly what I said." His tone carried a chill. "I said I wouldn't let him call me Dad again, or I wouldn't care about him." Before she could continue asking, the phone was hung up. Iris felt as if her heart had stopped beating. Just as she was about to go out to look, Sylvia called, sounding dissatisfied. "Iris, I know Sunny doesn't have a father, but you can't let the child call people Dad randomly. It's fine that you let Ethan play with him, but calling Ethan Dad." Ethan got angry in the moment and "You'd better hurry to South Mountain to look for him." After the call ended, Iris barely pieced together the approximate facts from their words. Sunny must have called Ethan Dad in front of Sylvia. So Ethan, in a fit of rage, left him on the mountain. But he was Sunny's biological father. Today was Sunny's birthday. How could he be so cruel as to leave Sunny alone on the mountain? He was so small, not even 5 years old yet. She didn't even dare to imagine what dangers Sunny might encounter alone on the mountain. Heartbroken beyond measure, Iris stumbled out the door and ran towards South Mountain. It had just rained on the mountain, and the gravel path was slippery. An adult could fall if not careful, let alone a child. "Sunny, where are you?" Sunny, she searched aimlessly on the mountain, barely daring to miss a corner, wishing she could push aside every bush to check. Nothing. Nothing, still nothing. Iris didn't know how long she searched. Her feet were blistered, and her body had many scratches from bushes and trees, but she felt numb, searching in despair. Search and rescue personnel were also helping, but there was still no news of Sunny. She was desperate to the extreme. Having not drunk water or eaten for a long time, her steps were so unsteady she fell every few steps. But she didn't dare stop. If she was even a second too late, and Sunny encountered danger, she would blame herself for the rest of her life. The rescue workers couldn't bear it, and forced her to take some glucose. "Miss Lane, you have to preserve your health to find the child." Iris nodded and continued searching tirelessly. After searching for the entire night, just as she was about to fall into utter despair, a faint cry for help suddenly came from a small bush. "Mom, Uncle, don't leave me. I'm scared." Iris rushed over, pushed aside the bushes, and saw her son's exquisite and lovely face. Instantly, she felt the relief of rebirth and tears flooded out. "Sunny, Mom is here. Mom found you. Don't be afraid, it's okay now." After finding Sunny, Iris immediately took him to the hospital. Because of the prolonged exposure to rain and shock, Sunny developed a fever again. He burned for 2 whole days, mumbling incoherently, "I won't call you Dad anymore. Uncle, Uncle, don't leave me. Iris was utterly heartbroken. A life that ordinary children took for granted was a luxury for him. Even the term dad was a luxury. It was all her fault, all her fault. Why did she fall in love with Ethan Wright? Why did she fall in love with him? She didn't like him anymore. From now on, she dared not like him anymore. She stayed by the hospital bed, holding Sonny's hand tightly. On the morning of the third day, Sonny finally woke up. Seeing Iris for the first time, his eyes immediately turned red, and he hugged Iris tightly. "Mom, I was so scared, I was so scared. Uncle said he would take me hiking for my birthday and said he prepared a surprise for me at the top of the mountain. I was so happy, I called him Dad when I made a wish." At that moment, Auntie Sylvia and Harry came. It was clearly my birthday, but Uncle happily cut the cake with Harry and gave the gift to Harry too. I got nothing. So I cried and called him Dad, and he left me behind. I couldn't find the way back. Iris listened to Sonny's trembling words, her heart twisting in pain, tears swirling in her eyes. She didn't expect Ethan could be cruel to this extent. After crying, Sonny finally wiped his tears, as if he had made up his mind. "This time, I don't want to give Uncle a chance anymore. Can we leave as soon as we get the divorce certificate?" Iris quickly wiped away her tears, smiled, and nodded. "Okay, we don't want him anymore. We'll leave in 7 days." After being discharged and returning home, she and Sonny packed the luggage to take away. She still remembered when they first got married. Being able to marry the person she had secretly loved for years, she was overjoyed, decorating this home every day, trying to make it warm. But she only got a sentence from him: "Don't do these meaningless things." After Sonny was born, she bought many daily necessities for their family of 3, all matching sets. However, until now, the portion belonging to Ethan had never even been opened by him, let alone used. Now there was no need to keep these things. Iris packed them into several boxes. When she was about to throw them out, Sonny also walked over holding a small box. "Mom, these need to be thrown away too." The box only contained bits and pieces. Papers Ethan had written on, pens he had discarded, the fragments of the clay doll smashed last time. With just one glance, her eyes reddened. For so many years, Sonny had never received a shred of attention from Ethan, not even a proper gift. So he could only secretly collect everything Ethan threw away. When he missed his dad, he would take them out to look. Now, everything related to Ethan had no need to remain. "Okay, throw it all away." Iris smiled, threw the box in his hand into the big box, and carried them out trip by trip to throw away. Just as she finished throwing them, Ethan returned. Seeing this moving-like scene, he frowned and couldn't help asking, "What are you throwing away?" "Nothing, just trash." Speaking calmly, Iris took Sonny's hand and turned to leave. Watching the retreating backs of the mother and son holding hands, Ethan felt inexplicably strange. For so many years, he hadn't valued this mother and son one bit. But whenever he came home, the child and she would run to him immediately. But now, she no longer looked at him with eyes full of love, and Sonny didn't cling to him, chattering about daily trifles. Something seemed different. Before he could think deeply, Ethan stepped into the house and saw the much emptier home. For a moment, he suspected he had walked into the wrong place. He asked with a dark face, "Iris Lane, what exactly did you throw away? How did the house become like this?" Iris looked at him calmly and said lightly, "Useless things. If the old doesn't go, the new won't come." If she and Sonny didn't leave, how could Sylvia and Harry move into this home? Sonny also repeated her words. "Right, if the old doesn't go, the new won't come." The strangeness in Ethan's heart became more obvious, and his brow twitched fiercely. Their words seemed to have a deep meaning, but for a moment, he couldn't figure it out. In the past, no matter what he did to them, they would sort out their moods as quickly as possible and treat him well again. But now they seemed exceptionally cold. Ethan frowned impatiently and said in a deep voice, "Are you still angry about leaving Sonny behind on his birthday?" I said, "Don't let him call me Dad outside. Didn't I ask you to teach him many times?" Iris smiled faintly. "Don't worry, he will only call you Uncle from now on." Sonny also smiled distantly. "Uncle, don't worry, there won't be a next time." Inexplicably, Ethan felt as if he had lost something very important at this moment. His chest felt stuffy. Just as he wanted to speak again, Sylvia called. Not knowing what she said to him, his eyes smiled, completely different from the indifference just now. Chatting and chatting, he put on his coat and went out again. Iris just watched his departing figure calmly. 5 years. This marriage was finally coming to an end. For several days in a row, Ethan didn't come back again. After helping Sunny complete the withdrawal procedures from school, on the day of departure, Iris finally received the divorce certificate. Sunny looked at the 2 divorce certificates and shook her hand. "Mom, let's go say a final goodbye to Uncle and give him the divorce certificate." Iris nodded. After confirming the luggage was correct, she and Sunny dragged their suitcases into the car and drove to the hospital. Outside the hospital, Iris stopped, unwilling to take another step forward. Seeing that she didn't want to see Uncle again, Sunny spoke up voluntarily. "Mom, I'll take the divorce certificate to Uncle." Saying that, he put the divorce certificate in his pocket and walked into the hospital. Iris watched Sunny enter the hospital gate, thinking that after today, it would be goodbye forever. She stood there waiting, but 1 minute, 2 minutes, until 10 minutes passed and Sunny still hadn't come out. Just as she was getting anxious from waiting and walking towards the door to check, she suddenly heard a crowd in the hallway chattering and discussing. There seems to be a medical dispute on the roof. Someone tied up 2 kids and is causing a scene. I wonder whose kids are so unlucky. Hearing the word kids, her heart skipped a beat instantly, panic-stricken. She rushed to the top floor at maximum speed. "Don't let it be Sunny, please. Don't let it be Sunny," Iris prayed over and over in her heart. However, when she reached the roof and saw the 2 children tied in the hands of the medical troublemaker, her heart stopped. Sunny, a man was choking Sunny and Harry by their necks, one in each hand, tightly gripping the ropes binding them, laughing insanely. "Ethan Wright, you killed my wife. She was only 37 years old. We could have grown old together. Don't talk to me about surgical failure rates. You can't understand my pain at all. If she hadn't had the surgery, she wouldn't have died. Now that she can't come back to life, I want you to experience the taste of losing a loved one too." Saying that, his hands choking the children's necks tightened continuously. "Ethan Wright, which of these 2 children is yours? Speak, I don't want to hurt the innocent. I only want your child to be buried with my wife." Seeing the patient's family member getting closer to the edge of the roof, the 2 children, including himself, were teetering on the brink. "Speak quickly. If you don't speak, I'll throw both children down." Ethan's pupils constricted slightly. In the flash of a spark, he spoke sternly. "The left one, the one on the left, is my son. The child on the right is innocent. Put him down." The one on the left was Sunny. This was the first time Ethan admitted Sunny's identity, but it was to protect his first love son, Harry. At that moment, Iris felt the sky collapse and the earth split, looking at Ethan in disbelief. Sunny numbly shed 2 lines of tears. Hearing this, the man with bloodshot eyes threw Harry directly to him, then hugged Sunny, crossed the guardrail, and threw him out mercilessly. "No!" Iris screamed heartbrokenly, rushing towards the rooftop like a madwoman. This was the 38th floor. If a person fell, there would be no whole corpse. Using all her strength, she rushed over at the last moment, tightly grasping the rope tied to Sunny, pulling him. Even though her right arm was dislocated, she gritted her teeth and refused to let go. The desperate criminal was furious. Just as he was about to beat her, the police arrived in time. The criminal was subdued, and Iris saved Sunny, pressing him tightly into her arms, still shaken, muttering incessantly. "Sunny, Sunny. Thank goodness you're okay." Sunny's tears had long dried up. He buried himself in her arms blankly, silent without a word. Ethan looked at them deeply, seeming to want to say something, but the next second, Harry wailed in his arms, "Daddy Ethan, my leg hurts so much." "Is it broken?" He quickly withdrew his gaze and gently coaxed Harry in his arms. "Don't be afraid, Daddy Ethan is here. Daddy Ethan will go down and check it for you." Finishing, he picked up Harry to leave. Just as his figure was about to completely disappear from the rooftop, Sunny suddenly shouted loudly to him, "Uncle!" Ethan paused for a moment, but still hurried away holding Harry. So he didn't hear the last 4 words of Sunny's sentence. "Never see you again. Uncle, never see you again." Watching their backs disappear completely, after an unknown amount of time, Sunny wiped away all his tears and took Iris's hand. "Mom, let's go. Uncle will never have the chance to see us again." Iris came back to her senses and nodded. "He will never have the chance to see us again." After speaking, she carried Sunny down from the rooftop. After going down, she went to Ethan's office. There was no one in the office. He was still busy comforting Sylvia, who had just rushed over scared out of her wits, and taking care of her child, Harry. Iris gently placed the divorce certificate on his office desk, not leaving a single word. After leaving the hospital, she got into the car with Sunny straight away. The car drove towards the airport. Facing the golden sunset, they never looked back. The moment before boarding the plane, Iris pulled the SIM card out of her phone and tossed it into the trash can. Then, holding Sunny, she boarded the plane with the crowd. After finding their seats and sitting down, Sunny pointed at the sky outside the window, a smile blossoming on his face. "Mom, look, the sun is out. It's clearing up." Iris smiled and agreed, "Yes, it's all in the past. The weather in Country A should be nice too." A chatty lady in the seat next to them naturally joined their conversation. "The weather in Country A has been great lately. S-City is suitable for enjoying a slow-paced life. It should suit you too very well. You can try the local specialties at these restaurants when you get there. They taste good." After chatting briefly, Iris saw Sunny had fallen asleep, and the chatty lady also stopped talking. During the flight of several hours, she couldn't help but fall asleep as well. In the hospital, after Ethan personally applied medicine to Harry, his heart suddenly thumped violently, filled with an indescribable panic. Seeing him suddenly stop his movements, Sylvia asked in confusion, "Ethan, what's wrong?" "Did something happen?" Ethan shook his head. "No, it should just be because my mood hasn't fully calmed down from the medical dispute just now. The hospital gave you leave. You spoil Harry too much. If he clings to you, you indulge him. Don't you know it will spoil him? What you need most right now is to rest properly." Saying that, Sylvia pushed him towards the office. "You, give yourself a break today. There are other doctors and nurses for Harry. You don't need to be so nervous." Ethan smiled faintly and nodded. "Okay, I will pay attention to resting. Don't worry." Before he could say the last word, he froze completely. On his desk, a purplish-red booklet was displayed conspicuously, with the words clearly written on it, "Divorce Certificate." Not only was he stunned, but even Sylvia behind him froze. She subconsciously explained for him, "Who left their stuff lying around? Why is it on your desk? A patient must have left it behind." Ethan's hand trembling as he picked up the divorce certificate. For a moment, he didn't have the courage to open it. His heart was in a mess. Countless thoughts flashed by, but he couldn't grasp the key point immediately. He tried hard to suppress the panic in his heart, consoling himself. Impossible. Iris and Sunny loved him so much. How could they suddenly divorce him? Is this their latest tactic, wanting him to see a forged divorce certificate and regret it? He forcibly maintained a calm facade and stuffed the divorce certificate into his pocket. Someone must have left it. I'll return it to them later." Saying that, he walked into the inner room to change clothes. Sylvia couldn't help but harbor some suspicions. He used to hide nothing from her. But ever since she returned to the country, everything seemed to have changed. He seemed to be hiding many secrets she couldn't know. Especially that sudden divorce certificate today. The excuse she made up casually, even she didn't believe it herself. The three of them came to the office together in the morning. How could they not know if a patient left something? Only after the patient's family caused a scene did a divorce certificate suddenly appear in his office. And the people closely related to this matter were Iris and Sunny. If they had no relationship with Ethan, why would the patient's family threaten him with Sunny and Harry? Question after question came one after another. Sylvia felt very uneasy, sensing that the person originally in her grasp was suddenly slipping out of control. To prevent this from happening, she knocked on the door of the inner room. "Ethan, how about I help you return the divorce certificate to that person? The person who lost it must be very anxious now." However, 1 second, 2 seconds. After a minute, the door remained locked from the inside without any movement. Ethan didn't change his clothes. Instead, he took out the divorce certificate directly, forcing himself to open it and look. The date clearly written on the divorce certificate was today, and the person on it was himself. He and Iris were divorced for a moment. Ethan could hardly believe his eyes. Impossible, he threw the divorce certificate onto the table in anger, a nameless fire burning in his eyes, and called Iris directly. The phone rang countless times, but no one answered. His heart sank infinitely. A very ominous premonition surged in his heart. Iris was really willing to divorce him. For some reason, there wasn't a trace of relief in Ethan's heart, only an indescribable discomfort and heaviness. This marriage was never what he expected. It was just out of responsibility. Now that it could be easily dissolved, he should be happy. But why, at this moment, was he desperately wanting to find Iris and Sunny for an explanation? Outside the door, Sylvia knocked nervously several times. "Ethan, you haven't responded. Did something happen?" Ethan had absolutely no mood to answer. He suddenly opened the inner door and rushed out directly. "Ethan? Ethan," Sylvia shouted at his back several times, but didn't get a single glance back from him. Wearing high heels, she couldn't catch up to him at all and could only give up. Ethan ran out desperately. His heart urged him, faster, faster. However, after getting into the car, he didn't know where to find Iris and Sunny. It seemed that every time, they were the ones who actively came to find him. Ethan's thoughts paused, and his face became colder. He slammed on the gas pedal and subconsciously drove towards home. Running countless red lights along the way, he finally arrived home. Opening the door, the already empty home was even emptier, with almost no sign of life. The traces of life left by Iris and Sunny in the past had been swept clean. The whole house looked like it did when he first lived alone. He tried hard to suppress the uneasiness in his heart and walked towards Iris's bedroom. Unexpectedly, he didn't hear the voices of Iris and Sunny. The whole house was incredibly quiet. He could only hear his own heartbeat. He pressed the door handle and pushed the door open. His face was terribly dark, anger accumulating in his eyes. "Iris Lane, what game are you and Sunny playing? Didn't I say ours was a secret marriage, not to let others know about it? Why did you forge a divorce certificate and put it in my office?" The door opened, and the whole room was empty. There was almost no trace of Iris ever existing. Only silence answered him. "Iris. Iris?" Ethan's voice was tinged with deep anxiety as he subconsciously turned and walked towards Sunny's room. The originally cutely decorated room was now completely empty as well. Only at this moment did Ethan realize that Iris was serious. This time, everything belonging to them in the house was gone. "If the old doesn't go, the new won't come." He subconsciously recited this sentence and suddenly understood what they meant. Iris and Sunny generously made room for Sylvia and Harry, so she divorced him. The whole house returned to its initial state, and they had left him completely. Ethan was dizzy with anger, utterly in disbelief. "Didn't you endure it all before? Why chose to divorce?" He clutched the divorce certificate tightly, turning it over and over countless times, but simply couldn't remember when he agreed to the divorce. The child bound them tightly together. At first, he couldn't force her to have an abortion, so he chose to agree to Iris giving birth and took responsibility by marrying her. From the moment he married her, Ethan never thought about divorcing her. After all, with the child there, they couldn't be cleanly separated. He knew this, and it was precisely because of this point that he hated this child. If not for Iris having a child, he would have reconciled with Sylvia. Even if her ex-husband died leaving a child, he simply didn't care. He had always loathed Iris, and by extension, loathed the child Sunny she bore. Because they stood between him and Sylvia, blocking all possibilities. But no matter when, he had never thought about divorce. He didn't sign a divorce agreement, so how were they divorced? Ethan repeatedly searched the memories in his mind, and finally, in the fragmented memories, he caught some clues. The day after Sylvia returned to the country, he was too happy and drank himself into a stupor. He mistook Iris for Sylvia and kissed her unprecedentedly. He also mistook Sunny for Harry and let him ride on his shoulders. In his confusion, Iris seemed to have handed him a document, saying he needed to sign it. Immersed in happy emotions, he signed his name directly without glancing at the content. Only now did Ethan realize that document was the divorce agreement, so she had been preparing for divorce since that time for a moment. A rare look of confusion and helplessness appeared on Ethan's face. He tried hard to convince himself that divorce was a good thing. He could have no further ties with Iris and Sunny, and he could wholeheartedly pursue Sylvia again without any obstacles. But why did his heart feel a little uncomfortable? Ethan stopped thinking about these things and forced himself to rest. Because of the medical dispute, the hospital gave him a few days off. He sat in the study, flipping through some medical research materials, but his thoughts kept drifting away. At mealtime, there was no familiar aroma, nor Sunny's lively and happy voice. He was actually somewhat unaccustomed to it. Just as he was about to cook for himself, Sylvia suddenly called. Ethan, Harry's leg is fine, but he's making a fuss wanting you to take care of him, insisting on being discharged to find you. Can I bring him to your house? Ethan pinched his tired brow, missing the deep, probing meaning in her words. Okay, bring him over. I sent you the address. Not long after, Sylvia brought Harry over and rang the doorbell. After Ethan opened the door, they walked in, looking around carefully, trying to find traces of Iris and Sunny living there. However, they had cleaned the house too thoroughly. Sylvia didn't notice anything strange for a moment, so she nudged Harry. Receiving the hint, Harry pounced directly, coquettishly hugging Ethan's leg. Daddy Ethan, those doctors and nurses aren't as amazing as you. I only like Daddy Ethan taking care of me. I don't want anyone else. He picked up Harry, curling his lips slightly. Okay, I'll take care of you. Sylvia smiled with satisfaction, walked aside to take a call, and feigned panic. What? A water pipe burst upstairs from me, leaking into my floor, needing maintenance? Okay, I'll take my son to stay somewhere else for a few days. Please repair it as soon as possible, thank you. After hanging up, she looked at Ethan with some embarrassment, hesitating whether to speak. Ethan, this? Ethan didn't want to make things difficult for her and volunteered, you and Harry stay at my house for a few days. Consider it for Harry's safety. Is that appropriate? It's so much trouble for you. If there are other people in your house, will it affect them? Saying that, she deliberately looked upstairs a few times, looking somewhat embarrassed. Ethan thought of Iris and Sunny, and his eyes turned cold. There's no one else. You and Harry stay with peace of mind, he said with a hint of anger. Sylvia hooked her lips in satisfaction. Then thank you very much. You probably haven't eaten yet. How about we cook together? Ethan didn't refuse and walked into the kitchen with her. While cooking, his hand occasionally touched hers, and accidentally, they would even bump into each other. Harry, playing by himself in the living room, clapped his hands happily seeing this scene. Daddy Ethan and Mom fit so well together. We should be a family forever. Sylvia blushed and looked at Ethan somewhat shyly. Ethan, the child is talking nonsense, don't take it seriously. Finishing, she immediately lowered her head and continued cooking. After a table of flavorful dishes was ready, Ethan sat down, but was exceptionally silent. The seat Sylvia sat in used to be Iris's. With a different person sitting there, his heart felt terribly wrong. Clearly, he had looked forward to this moment for a long time, but when it really happened, he wasn't happy at all. After hastily eating, Ethan only felt very tired. He got up and went back to his room, just throwing them a sentence: rest early. Opening his phone, the chat box with Iris hadn't had a new message for a long time. Countless messages he sent sank into the ocean. A day had passed and Sunny hadn't called him once. Could it be they were still angry about the medical dispute? The police arrived in time. He was confident, and wasn't Sunny fine anyway? Ethan frowned slightly and called Iris again. Obviously, still no connection. He finally experienced the tormenting taste of Iris not being able to get through on the phone. All night, he repeatedly checked his phone, having absolutely no sleepiness. Dawn broke, and there was still no news from Iris. Harry knocked on his door, eyes full of expectation. Daddy Ethan, can you take me to kindergarten with Mom today? Inexplicably, through these expectant eyes, Ethan saw Sunny's shadow. In the past, he was like this too, knocking on the door hoping he would take him to kindergarten. At that time, he refused without hesitation, because he didn't want people to know their relationship and didn't want to be good to Sunny. No, Ethan subconsciously wanted to refuse. Harry's tears fell instantly, his mouth pouting as he threw a tantrum. Daddy Ethan, I want you to take me. I just want you two to take me together. You used to take me together. If you don't take me today, I won't go to kindergarten. At this time, Sylvia took his arm. Ethan, let's go together. If you don't agree to this kid, he can pester you all day. Hearing this, Ethan frowned subconsciously but still didn't refuse. Only in his heart, he couldn't help comparing Harry with Sunny. Sunny was very good, so good he barely needed to worry. Even if rejected, he would only shed tears silently. He would never cry and make a scene like this, wishing to roll on the ground if his wish wasn't met. Ethan didn't say much, only the melancholy between his brows grew heavier. After stepping out of the room, he realized everything in front of him had undergone earth-shaking changes. Sylvia had added a lot of things overnight. Some elegant and romantic but impractical ornaments, many photos of the three of them, including matching daily necessities for a family of 3. It looked as if they were really married and living together. Ethan couldn't suppress the anger in his heart, instantly releasing Harry's hand, staring at Sylvia with deep eyes. "Who told you to decorate this house? Who allowed you to buy these things?" Sylvia was severely frightened by him like this, stammering, not knowing how to answer. I just liked them. If you don't like them, I'll have someone remove them. Don't be angry." Harry was also scared into crying incessantly. "Boo-hoo, Daddy Ethan, don't yell at Mom." The crying almost lifted the roof, making Ethan's face look terrible, his head throbbing with pain. "I will have someone remove them. From now on, you are not allowed to touch things in this house casually. Aren't we going to school? Go now." His expression was very impatient, and he even regretted the decision to let them live in his house yesterday. Along the way, Ethan had a dark face. It was the first time Sylvia had seen him like this, and she didn't dare speak for a while. Harry was even more silent, hugging Sylvia's arm tightly without saying a word. After dropping them off at the kindergarten, Ethan stood at the gate waiting for a long time, but he didn't see Sunny and Iris. He thought their divorcing him was just out of spite. Maybe they would regret it today and come back to beg for remarriage. However, he waited in the car until school was out, yet still didn't see the figures of Iris and Sunny. Thump! He punched the steering wheel hard, venting the anger and unwillingness in his heart. During his days off, he was like this. Iris and Sunny seemed to have vanished into thin air from his world, actually not coming to find him even once he originally thought the first to admit defeat would be them. But unexpectedly, the first to admit defeat was himself. Living under the same roof with Sylvia seemed completely different from the sweetness when they were dating back then. After Harry made unreasonable trouble and acted arrogantly at kindergarten time and time again, he would run to him eagerly to act coquettishly, asking him to back him up. Ethan was truly tired. Almost all the kids in the kindergarten had been bullied by Harry. Snatching snacks and toys was normal. His character was domineering and arrogant. Facilities like slides and swings, as long as he was playing, other children were not allowed near. Once near, they would be pushed and bullied by him. Just after getting off work and returning home, Harry cried and threw himself over to complain. "Daddy Ethan, a kid grabbed my cake today. I wanted to bring it back for you and Mom to eat. She grabbed my cake and hit me, saying I don't have a dad. I clearly do. Isn't Daddy Ethan my dad? Boo-hoo." Crying, he pointed to a few scratches on his face, looking pathetic. "Really? It's just a cake. How could she bully you like that? And say such bullying words? Shall Daddy Ethan and Mom ask her to apologize to you, okay?" Upon hearing Harry's words, Sylvia didn't investigate at all and stood by his side to speak for him. Harry stopped crying and nodded. "I'll listen to Mom. The kindergarten is holding a parent-teacher meeting tomorrow. Daddy Ethan, come be my dad and attend the meeting for me, okay?" When Sylvia looked at Ethan, her eyes held a trace of pleading. "Ethan, my son absolutely cannot be bullied like this. He is my life. His father died early. I raised him alone. He suffered enough grievances. Can you help Harry and let him get his wish once? Truly call you dad?" Hearing this, Ethan was terribly silent, his eyes slightly lowered, his cold face expressionless, emotions unclear in his eyes. Sylvia's heart sank infinitely, feeling somewhat uneasy. So she quickly took his hand and walked into the room, avoiding Harry. The next second, her arms circled his waist, her face pressed tightly against his back. "Ethan, you know, the first person I wanted to see after returning to the country was you. I actually had hardships for choosing to marry back then. My parents forced me to marry. Because his family had power and influence, I couldn't resist. Every day abroad, I was actually thinking of you, and I didn't want to be apart from you." Saying this, Sylvia's tears wet Ethan's back. She slowly let go, walked in front of him, and looked at him steadily. "Although I don't know why you've been hot and cold towards me recently, not as intimate as before, I still want to go back to the past with you." 1 second, 2 seconds. Unknown time passed. Ethan remained silent without answering. After a long while, he only pushed her away. "Sylvia, we seem unable to go back." Ethan said this sentence with difficulty, his throat somewhat dry. This sentence sounded like a thunderclap in Sylvia's ears, shocking her scalp numb. "What did you say?" she asked in disbelief. Ethan looked distant, his eyes dark. "We can't go back, Sylvia. In the few days you and Harry lived at home, I wasn't happy for a single moment. Only now do I realize I don't seem to love you that much anymore. My obsession with you has dissipated a lot. You and Harry should move out of the house as soon as possible. It has its true owner." "Ethan, you're joking, right?" Sylvia forced a bitter smile in disbelief. Just as she was about to deceive herself, he interrupted without hesitation. "I'm not joking. I got married. I married Iris Lane. The divorce certificate in the office was mine and hers. She let go, but now I can't quite let her go." For the first time, Ethan stopped hiding and revealed all the truth. Admitting Iris was his wife didn't seem as difficult as imagined. Sylvia felt as if she had suffered a devastating blow. No wonder that child named Sonny called him Dad. No wonder the atmosphere between him and Iris was so strange. However, she didn't have time to think so much. For Harry, no matter what, she couldn't let go. The inheritance left from abroad had long been squandered by her. Without money, she and Harry couldn't survive. Sylvia forced a smile and said understandingly, "It's okay. You divorced, which means you weren't suitable. We can still start over, right?" Ethan was silent for a long time, but only said one sentence. "Sorry, I have arranged for someone to send you away. If there's nothing else in the future, don't come to find me. I can't be Harry's father. He should still call me uncle from now on." The distant attitude completely cut off all of Sylvia's thoughts. The person she was always confident about completely broke away from control. Her tears of despair finally burst. "Ethan, don't be so cruel, okay? Harry can't accept it. He has long treated you as his biological father, and I really haven't let you go." Before she could finish, the person Ethan arranged had arrived. The driver got out and walked in, nodded to Ethan, then began packing Sylvia and her son's things. After loading them into the car, he stood beside Sylvia and made a respectful gesture of invitation. "Miss Sterling, please get in the car." Sylvia bit her lip hard in extreme disbelief. Harry didn't understand why, and being suddenly taken away, he panicked completely. "Daddy Ethan, Mom, I won't go, this is my home, I don't want to leave," he cried and broke free from the driver's hand, throwing himself to hug Ethan's leg, crying loudly. Ethan frowned tightly and pushed his hand away mercilessly. "I am not your father, you should call me uncle, this is not your home either." He didn't give Harry and Sylvia a chance to resist, letting them be sent back. The villa returned to silence again. Ethan's mood, however, remained low. He had asked people to find Iris, but there was still no trace. Based on flight information, he only knew she took her son to Country A. Other than that, he knew nothing. During the days Iris lost contact, only then did he truly realize he didn't seem to hate her as much as he imagined. Nor did he love Sylvia as much as he imagined. Clearly, as long as he said yes, they could get back together, but his heart told him he didn't want to reconcile with her. That relationship had passed for 5 years, and 5 years was enough to change many things. Iris and Sonny had long unknowingly left a deep impression on his body and heart. In these few days, figures of Iris and Sonny appeared in his mind. Iris's gentle eyes filled with infinite love were deeply imprinted in his heart. Accustomed to such profound and unreserved love, meeting Sylvia's eyes full of calculation and consideration again, he was incredibly sober. Sylvia didn't love him, not for a long time. Marrying someone else was a hardship. Forced. He wasn't a fool. After Sylvia got married, Ethan also bought flight tickets to find her. Every time he saw their sweet daily life, every time he saw it, his heart ached once. Her husband unexpectedly went bankrupt and jumped off a building. Massive debt was about to pile on them. She couldn't accept such a blow and ran back to the country with the money. At first, out of the infinite beautification of his first love in his mind, he wanted to take good care of them and not let them suffer. But now, the filter of the first love was completely shattered. She was never as good as he imagined from the start. The dream was broken, and this barely maintained relationship should end here. But where exactly would Iris take her son? Only when they left did Ethan belatedly realize he had never understood them from beginning to end. Married for 5 years, to him, they weren't even as familiar as colleagues. Did Iris have friends? He didn't know. He knew absolutely nothing about any of her preferences. Ethan blamed himself to the extreme, but was helpless. Early the next morning, he took leave and called his university classmates one by one. "Class president, do you remember who Iris Lane's roommates were in college? Or did she have any close friends?" The class president recalled in his mind for a long time. Regarding Ethan's question, he only felt completely confused. Brother Ethan, I remember. Iris Lane's close friends in college were just those few roommates, Lena Miller, Wang Linlin, those girls. But why do you ask this? You have absolutely nothing to do with her. Aren't you pursuing Sylvia? Prom queen Sylvia and Iris aren't familiar either. Why so sudden? Ethan choked up, then said lightly, I'm not pursuing Sylvia. I have nothing to do with her now. I want to find Iris. No way, brother Ethan, are you joking? Or are you fighting with the prom queen and using Iris to make her angry? The class president didn't take his words to heart and joked. I'm not joking. I was married to Iris. She left me. I want to find her. Give me her roommate's contact information. Ethan's usually indifferent voice contained obvious anxiety. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a long time, stuttering, almost unable to make a sound. I sent you their contact information. Pretend I didn't say what I said before. Hope you find Iris soon. Haha. The class president hurriedly shouted this sentence and immediately hung up the phone, extremely awkward. Ethan couldn't care less and called Iris's former roommates directly. Hello, it's me, Ethan Wright. Lena, have you been in contact with Iris Lane recently? Do you know where she might go? I'm looking for her. If you have any news related to her, please tell me, thank you. Not surprisingly, Lena also raised the same question as the class president. Not only her, Wang Linlin and Chen Cheng had the same reaction. After Ethan explained, all three expressed doubt. You're saying you were married to Iris for 5 years, had a child, and she divorced you and disappeared some time ago. You're not joking, right? We always knew she had someone she liked. You say that person is you. If you were really married, how could no one know? You call this marriage. Moreover, we were close with her back then, but so many years have passed. You, the person sleeping next to her, don't understand her, and we haven't been in touch much, so where would we go to understand her? To be honest, we don't know where Iris would go either. Why don't you go find her colleagues and ask? Ethan was silent, unable to give an answer. He didn't know what work she had been busy with these years, let alone who her colleagues were. Hearing his silence, Iris's roommates were instantly angry. Ethan Wright, originally we thought you were high and mighty, only descending to the mortal world for Sylvia. We even praised your deep affection and envied Sylvia. Now it seems you really make us feel disgusted. If you didn't love Iris, why marry her? Even if you were drugged, couldn't you control yourself? You studied medicine yourself. You know best in your heart. For so many years you ignored her and treated your child badly too. Are you human? Sylvia let you down back then, not Iris. Why did you bully her like that? I think Iris was right to leave you serves you right for not finding her. We won't help you, Snap. The phone hung up. Ethan was scolded into a daze. Yes, they were right. It was all his fault. Back then, Iris followed behind him for several days, watching him drink. Her adoring eyes couldn't be hidden at all. He had discovered it long ago. On holidays and birthdays, regarding the gifts that were never missing, maybe she didn't realize it herself, but the handwriting on them was recognizable at a glance as hers. When Ethan was still with Sylvia, those gifts would only end up in the trash can. He would absolutely not respond to her love. But that day, although Ethan was drugged, he didn't completely lose consciousness. He indulged himself, leading to such consequences. Recalling these dust-sealed memories, the self-blame in Ethan's heart increased a bit more. If they hadn't started in such a terrible situation back then, would everything be different? If, over these years, he could have realized earlier that Sylvia never loved him and only used him, and that only Iris truly loved him, would they have lived happily for a lifetime? It was all his own fault. Ethan slapped himself hard in self-reproach. In the mirror, the usually aloof image no longer existed. The dark circles under his eyes proved that in these days, he hadn't rested well for a single day. If he didn't find Iris and Sunny soon, he was really going crazy. When eating, he would think of them sitting beside him, sharing daily life with him. When returning home, Sunny would guard the door immediately, looking at him with round eyes, saying to him, "Welcome home." Iris would look at him with affectionate eyes, hoping he could pay a little more attention to them. Even when working, he would always wonder if they would message him the next second, saying they missed him. During surgery, if they wanted to contact him but couldn't find anyone, would they be anxious? However, these were just his fantasies. They really abandoned him and didn't love him anymore. The look in Iris's eyes when she threw everything away that day was resolute, and it was still deeply branded in his heart now. Ethan was really going to be driven mad. He went out without hesitation and drove to the hospital to resign. "Director, I've thought it through. I want to give up my current job. I have more important things to do." Saying that, he handed over a signed resignation letter. The director was very puzzled and advised earnestly, "Dr. Wright, everyone sees your ability. Why leave suddenly? The hospital's benefits are very good. If you have other difficulties, you can tell us the truth. Did another hospital extend an olive branch to you? All these can be discussed. Is it still because of the impact of the last medical dispute? That kind of thing is rare. That surgery was extremely high risk, plus the patient's physical condition was poor. It's not your fault. You don't need any psychological burden. We can all understand you." When the director wanted to continue speaking, Ethan interrupted without hesitation. "Director, leaving is for personal reasons. I know my condition very well. The current me can no longer perform surgery without distractions. I want to find my wife and son. I can no longer devote myself wholeheartedly to work. I'm sorry." Although the director didn't understand the truth, seeing his persistence, he shook his head helplessly. "Sigh, since this is your choice, then all right. You are welcome to join us again in the future." After organizing his personal belongings, Ethan bought a ticket for the earliest flight to Country A. His hand tightly clutched that divorce certificate, his mind secretly firming up a thought. He would definitely win Iris back. Just walking out of the hospital, Sylvia and Harry appeared in front of him. "Ethan, Harry's birthday is coming soon. Can you celebrate his birthday with him once?" Sylvia nudged Harry and smiled gently, as if nothing had happened. Harry also grabbed Ethan's hand hanging by his side, shook it, and acted coquettishly. "Uncle Ethan, I learned not to call you Daddy Ethan anymore. I only have one wish for my birthday, and that is hoping you spend my birthday with me just once. Can you, please?" "Uncle Ethan, you taught me not to bully others before. I remembered it all. I learned to be good, but you haven't come to keep me company for a long time. I miss you so much." Bean-sized tears rolled down continuously. He cried until his eyes and nose were red, looking very pitiful. Ethan, however, didn't feel much heartache. He knew Harry's character incredibly well. Lies came easily. Being well-behaved in front of him now, but behind his back, he was another arrogant look. In the past, he was willing to spoil him, so it didn't matter. But now, seeing Harry like this, Ethan felt a trace of heartache for Sunny. He had never spent a birthday with Sunny. Even for this year's birthday, he threw Sunny on the mountain. The pitiful and despairing look when Sunny was left behind now surfaced before his eyes, deeply piercing Ethan's heart. He pushed Harry away without hesitation, his voice so cold it could almost freeze into ice. "I won't celebrate your birthday with you. Whether you learn to be good or not has nothing to do with me." He raised his eyes and met Sylvia's gaze, saying solemnly, "Don't come to find me again. I don't want Iris and Sunny to misunderstand in the future." The clear and cold voice knocked heavily on Sylvia's heart, causing dull pain in her chest. Just after speaking, Ethan walked towards his car, about to rush to the airport. "No, Ethan Wright, don't go, okay?" Sylvia grabbed his hand tightly, panicked to the extreme. She couldn't let him leave to find Iris. As long as he could stay, they would still have a chance. Sylvia tried her best to grab Ethan, not letting him leave. Harry also copied her, hugging his legs. "Uncle Ethan, don't go, okay? We should be a family. Don't go find Sunny. Is it not good just having me as a kid?" Ethan, however, resolutely pried their fingers open one by one. "My plane is about to board. I am not family with you." He lifted his legs and got into the car without hesitation. The car drove to the airport, and Ethan boarded the plane carrying his suitcase. Sylvia and Harry, a step too late, watched his departing back, desperate to the extreme. She didn't understand why he suddenly had a change of heart, why he could change so much in these 5 years. What she understood even less was why he was so persistent in finding Iris. She didn't want to give up yet. She still wanted to gamble that he still had her in his heart. After Sylvia took Harry home, she closed his room door. "Harry, Mom wants to play a game with you. You hide inside first. After Mom opens the door, I will come find you. If I don't find you, you win. The winner gets a reward." Harry smiled immediately and agreed, clapping his hands. "Okay, Mom, I just love playing games. I'm very good. You definitely won't find me." After locking his room, Sylvia held a fruit knife and walked into the bathtub filled with cold water. Setting up the phone, the sharp blade pressed against her wrist. Traces of blood surged out instantly. Facing this scene, she took a photo and sent it to Ethan. "Ethan, don't go look for Iris, okay? I love you too, we loved each other so much, why can't we reconcile? I don't mind that you were married and had a child. You and I are the same. Isn't it good for us to be together? If you don't come to see me, then please, after I leave this world, take good care of my son Harry. He is not bad by nature. As long as you teach him well, he will learn to be good." After sending a few messages, Sylvia waited for a long time but didn't wait for Ethan's answer. Not long after, the phone suddenly rang. Just when she thought it was Ethan, she answered it subconsciously. "Miss Sterling, please keep your emotions stable. You still have a child. Don't do stupid things. Suicide is not a solution." The policewoman's gentle, comforting voice entered her ears. Sylvia was so angry she almost lost her rationality and threw the phone directly to the ground. "Ethan Wright, why do you have to be like this? You clearly knew I wanted you to come see me. Why?" The knife in her hand slowly slipped and fell to the ground, making a crisp, clashing sound. At this time, the door had been opened by the police. The policewoman walked in tentatively and persuaded patiently. "Miss Sterling, your son is still crying and calling for you. Do you want to go over and see? Don't do stupid things. Life has many worthwhile things." Saying that, a police officer with quick eyes and hands picked up the knife, giving Sylvia no chance to commit suicide. Of course, she never thought of really committing suicide. She just wanted to threaten Ethan. His attitude was already obvious. She committed suicide, yet he still didn't turn back. Sylvia slumped instantly. She couldn't possibly afford the sky-high debts. Ethan wouldn't help her anymore. She didn't even dare to go abroad to find him. She was afraid that as soon as she went abroad, she would be killed by those debt collectors. Meanwhile, sitting on the plane, Ethan turned off his phone, no longer caring about anything related to Sylvia. Since he wanted to break it off, he had to break it off thoroughly. Even if he still couldn't bear it somewhat, he couldn't look for her again, couldn't give her hope again. Iris and Sunny were already disappointed enough in him. He couldn't let them be disappointed any longer. He would prove to them that he had really let go of Sylvia and started to love them. The plane took off and landed. Ethan knew Sylvia was safe. In his heart, he silently said, "Goodbye." Country A was large, and for a moment he was somewhat at a loss. Where to find Iris? This was undoubtedly looking for a needle in a haystack. Ethan spent money to hire several detectives directly and published missing person notices on the internet. Looking at Iris's somewhat youthful smile in the photo, his heart felt bitter. This was a group photo from her university days. Married for 5 years, apart from the photo on the marriage certificate, they actually didn't have a single group photo. Even of Sunny, he didn't have a single photo. Flipping through his phone randomly, it was actually full of photos of Sylvia and Harry. In the gap of waiting for news to find people, he didn't hesitate and deleted these photos in batches. The photo of Sylvia hidden in the wallet compartment, treasured immensely before, was also torn up by him and thrown into the trash can. Replacing it was the photo of Iris and him on the marriage certificate. He had really completely given up on that relationship. However, Iris was completely unaware of all this. After coming to S City in Country A, she rented a house here and sent Sunny to a nearby kindergarten. After school, Sunny skipped and hopped home, like a follower, trailing behind Iris, never leaving her side. "Mom, I made 2 good friends today. They both like me so much, and they also like the cookies you made for me. They said they want to come to our house to eat cookies together later." The corners of Iris's lips curved up slightly, and she rubbed his soft hair. "Okay, then I'll make more for you to take tomorrow, okay?" Yay, Sunny cheered happily and went to the sofa to do crafts. In a short while, a beautiful origami rose was made. Sunny walked into Iris's room and inserted it into the vase on her table, which was already full of origami roses. They were all colors, but they didn't look abrupt. The transitions were very natural. This was Sunny's sentiment, and Iris would naturally cherish it well. Just looking at it every day made her mood much better. At night, she opened her diary and wrote a paragraph. "How many days has it been since leaving Ethan Wright? I can't remember clearly. After leaving him, the number of times I think of him is getting fewer and fewer. I'm almost forgetting what he looks like. Turns out giving up a person, giving up a relationship held onto for so many years, doesn't seem that difficult. Sunny adapted better than I imagined. He made good friends here, and I'm very happy. It's funny. I studied medicine before, but giving birth to Sunny broke all my life plans. I was trapped at home, taught myself painting and baking, and now I've become a signed illustrator for a game company. But I don't regret it at all. I hope tomorrow will be better, and I hope Sunny and I can forget Ethan sooner. After writing, she closed the diary. During this time abroad, she wrote in her diary every day. The wish to forget Ethan written until now was really about to be completely forgot. Knock, knock. The door was knocked, and Sunny peeked in. Mom, the school is holding a parent-child sports meeting tomorrow. Don't forget, don't worry, I won't forget what I promised you. Iris laughed. Sunny nodded with satisfaction. After returning to his room, he mysteriously messaged a contact on his phone watch. Peter, my mom will come to keep me company tomorrow. Didn't you say you have a very handsome uncle? Did he agree to come? Soon, the little boy named Peter replied. He agreed. My uncle never fails to do what he says. You also remember what you promised me. Bring me more snacks, especially the cookies Auntie Lane made. Uncle is a baddie. He also liked the cookies your mom made and snatched several of mine. I couldn't even bear to eat them myself. Sunny raised his chin very proudly, as if he was being praised. Since knowing the brothers Peter and Jack, he seemed to have opened the door to a new world. In the past, he only hoped Dad and Mom could be well, and their family of 3 could live happily together. But Peter told him they were a blended family. Both parents brought them together after divorce, and they were very happy now, nothing big. After witnessing the unbiased love of Peter's parents for the brothers, he realized that love had nothing to do with blood relations. Biological parents could also not love their children, while adoptive parents or step-parents could also love children very much. That he wasn't loved wasn't his or Mom's fault. It was Ethan's fault. Carrying the yearning for tomorrow, Sunny fell into a deep sleep. The next day, parent-child sports meeting. Iris brought Sunny, also carrying a small bag of cookies to the kindergarten. Just arriving at the gate, 2 blonde little boys of similar age to Sunny ran over, holding Sunny's hand on the left and right, and began introducing enthusiastically. Sunny, Auntie Lane, that taller, handsomer man is my Uncle Edmund. What do you think of him? Following Peter's finger, she saw a tall, sturdy man. A black trench coat made his figure even more superior. His brow bone was 3-dimensional, his eyebrows deep and containing danger, his azure eyes making people unable to help but drown in them. His facial contours were distinct and tough, and his aura was extraordinary, but when his gaze fell on Peter, there was a gentle helplessness. At this time, another curly-haired little boy with freckles, Jack, also fought to hold Iris's hand and shook it. Auntie Lane, that even prettier man is my little uncle. His name is Zephyr. Although he looks gloomy, he is so childish. Like Jack's description, Zephyr had an exquisite world-weary face. His emerald green eyes were like a cat's, very mysterious. Slightly long chestnut, curly hair made his skin look overly pale. However, the next second he spoke, it completely broke the gloomy image. Hey, 3 brats, if you keep chatting, other kids will have already started playing. Do you want to fall behind them? Peter and Jack shouted in unison. No saying that, they nudged Sunny, signaling him to join too. Sunny pursed his lips in embarrassment and shouted softly, I don't want to either. Then, Peter and Jack took Sunny's hand and ran towards Zephyr. Let's go quickly, Zephyr's face blossomed with a reckless smile, letting the 3 kids chase him. At this time, the more steady Edmund smiled with his eyes, the corners of his lips curving up slightly, keeping pace with Iris traceably. He also naturally took the things she was carrying. Relax, don't be so nervous. Although it's a parent-child sports meeting, they are all still small. As long as they play happily, it's fine. Iris nodded, not feeling unaccustomed to his considerate behavior. She only thought foreigners were all enthusiastic like this and didn't think in other directions. Edmund looked at her bright face, smelled the sweet scent from the bag in his hand, and quietly reddened the tips of his ears. After playing all day, Iris had exchanged contact information with Edmund and Zephyr. Wipe your sweat. Zephyr carefully handed over a tissue, reminding her where there was sweat. An exquisite face was overly close to her, close enough to almost smell the faint fragrance on him. Iris stepped back slightly in discomfort. While following Zephyr's instructions to wipe her sweat, she was stunned. Sensing she didn't stand firmly and was about to fall backward, Zephyr and Edmund reached out almost simultaneously. A hand with distinct joints and a warm, large hand with a sense of power supported her waist from left and right simultaneously. "Are you okay?" One clear, one deep, two different voices asked at the same time. Iris's mind went blank. She quickly shook her head, stood firm herself, her eyes drifting to look into the distance. "I'm fine." Edmund and Zephyr were obviously still a bit nervous. Just as they were about to say something, a familiar person appeared not far away. Iris Lane, Ethan's voice was dry and hoarse, with a posture like a coming storm. His eyes were slightly moist, almost daring not to believe what he saw. Unlike Iris's bright and sunny appearance, Ethan was extremely haggard. His eyes were densely covered with bloodshot lines, with darkness under his eyes, obviously not having rested well for a long time. His expression was indescribably decadent and tired, his whole body written with loneliness and despair. He had been looking for Iris in Country A for 3 whole months. He had walked every street of many cities in Country, a one by one. Countless times at street corners, he had illusions, thinking Iris appeared in front of him. However, they were all hallucinations. Until today, he found a photo of Iris taken in S City and rushed over at maximum speed, travel-worn. He never dreamed he would see her in this situation. Ethan's eyes were bloodshot, his fists clenching continuously. Anger and jealousy surged in his heart, making him so angry he almost lost his reason. "Iris Lane, you had a child with me. How dare you hook up with other men?" He was so angry his voice was trembling, wishing to flay those 2 foreign men beside her. Before Iris could speak, Sonny stepped in front of her first, his small face puffed up with anger, shouting loudly at Ethan, "Uncle, Mom divorced you a long time ago." Starting a new relationship is not called hooking up. Peter and Jack also quickly stood beside Sonny, defending him, giving him courage and encouragement. "Right, Sonny is right, Uncle. Auntie Lane is so pretty, gentle, and makes delicious cookies. If you can't see her merits, naturally others can. Yeah, since they are divorced, it doesn't count as anything. Auntie Lane can find as many boyfriends as she wants. It has nothing to do with you." Ethan was so angered by the words of the 3 children he almost couldn't catch his breath. "You kids go play aside. This is between me and Iris. Don't interfere." He walked step by step in front of Iris. Before the words of apology could be spoken, Edmund and Zephyr reached out simultaneously, blocking his path. Iris also stepped back a few steps with an impatient face, saying coldly, "What the kids said makes sense too. Ethan, right, you don't misunderstand what a divorce certificate means, do you? I have nothing to do with you anymore. You can start your new life, and naturally I can too. It's none of your business." Ethan was stunned. This was the first time she was so indifferent to him. The hand just extended slowly slipped down. An overwhelming loss and sadness drowned him. "Sorry, I just..." Before he finished, Iris interrupted again. "I don't need your apology. Aren't you with Sylvia? You shouldn't appear here to disturb my new life now. It has become a nuisance to me." "Nuisance?" Ethan sneered, tears uncontrollably spilling out. "So in your eyes, I have become a nuisance." His heart stung fiercely, even breathing hurt. "I am not with Sylvia, nor will I be with her. I was bad before. I didn't realize your weight in my heart, nor did I realize that my feelings for Sylvia were only a few points of obsession left. Sorry I hurt you in Sunny time and again. I'm sorry." Ethan's dark eyes were full of sadness and guilt, but Iris felt no emotion. Not only her, but Sunny too. Their faces showed uniform indifference. Edmund and the others sensibly gave space to the 3 of them, standing at a distance not too far or too close, listening quietly. Once Ethan made any dangerous move, they would act without hesitation. Iris only felt Ethan's words were ridiculous, so did he have feelings for her and Sunny too? In the past 5 years, not a day passed where she and Sunny didn't look forward to him treating them a little better, even if he just shared a tiny bit of love with them. But he didn't. In these 5 years, they couldn't feel a bit of his love and care. Instead, he only brought them hurt time and again. Heartache, physical pain, she and Sunny had experienced almost all of it. And now, Ethan actually told her he didn't love Sylvia anymore, and the people in his heart were her and Sunny. How ridiculous! Iris laughed until tears overflowed, feeling an indescribable sadness. Sunny was also silent, hanging his head so his emotions couldn't be seen. They weren't moved, but felt unworthy for their former selves. 5 years of getting along, even raising a dog would result in feelings. Ethan could be cruel enough to hurt them again and again for Sylvia. This wasn't called love, but obsession? Stop joking. Iris mocked with a laugh, her eyes full of disappointment. Ethan, right, I really regret loving you. You simply aren't worth the love of Sunny and me, and you don't understand love at all. Don't joke with Sunny and me. I am not a tool between you and Sylvia. I have feelings and a heart too. You keep saying it was just obsession with her. How can you prove that with me it isn't habit and obsession? She sneered coldly. Sunny also stubbornly wiped away his tears. Uncle, isn't it enough to have Auntie Sylvia and Harry accompany you? Mom and I really don't want to get hurt anymore, and we don't need your love anymore. It's enough for Mom and me to love each other. Maybe in the future, there will be other uncles to love us and treat us well, but we don't want you. We are really scared. Uncle, go back to Auntie Sylvia and Harry, okay? Sunny's immature voice felt like it was slicing his heart. Ethan was so sad he almost lost his voice, saying hoarsely, Sunny, I am your dad. Our blood relationship cannot be severed. I will learn to treat you well, to be a competent father. Harry is not my child, he has his own father. It has nothing to do with me. He was sincere enough to wish he could dig out his heart to show them. Sunny, however, hid timidly behind Iris. Mom, I'm scared. Does Uncle want to leave me behind again? Such a small gesture deeply pierced the hearts of Iris and Ethan. Iris quickly hugged Sunny, comforting him softly. No, with Mom here, he can't do it. He is not your dad. As long as you don't go with him, he won't have the chance to leave you behind. Sunny sobbed and nodded, summoning up courage. Uncle, did you forget? Before, you wanted me not to call you Dad. I learned it and learned never to call it again. You never admitted I was your son, and now I won't admit you are my dad either. Ethan was helpless and regretful to the extreme, yet didn't know where to start redeeming himself. His thin lips pressed tightly into a line. After a long silence, he spoke again. Sunny, Iris, believe me, I have really let go of Sylvia, and I really want to start over with you. Look, I decorated the house exactly like before, as if you never left. Whatever punishment you want for me is fine, I accept it all, just don't unwanted me. He looked at Iris and Sunny almost pleadingly. However, their eyes only held resistance and distance. They really couldn't go back to the past. From the moment the divorce succeeded, we have had no relationship. We don't want you anymore. After dropping this sentence, Iris held Sunny's hand and walked towards Edmund and Zephyr without hesitation. We don't want any involvement with him. Can you help me drive him away? Edmund nodded without hesitation and walked towards Ethan. A smile blossomed on Zephyr's face. He elegantly and appropriately took Iris's hand and planted a kiss on the back of it. Of course, it would be my pleasure. The 3 children gathered together. Peter and Jack whispered comfort to Sunny. Don't be afraid. With our uncle and little uncle here, he will leave honestly. Right, you guys are so good. Only a blind man wouldn't cherish you, don't worry. Our uncle and little uncle aren't people like that. They are great if they got together with Auntie Lane. That would be even better. Sunny smiled slightly and said arrogantly, It all depends on whether Mom likes it. If she doesn't like it, you aren't allowed to force her. My mom is the best person in the world and deserves the best of everything. Peter and Jack nodded like pounding garlic. Iris naturally heard these words too, her expression somewhat unnatural. Zephyr's eyes curved. Miss Lane, I indeed have a good impression of you, but it has nothing to do with those few kids. Maybe you don't believe it, but I really fell in love with you at first sight. Meeting those deep emerald green eyes, she really saw his sincerity. However, she subconsciously retreated. Number impossible, right? I don't seem to be anything special worth liking. Moreover, I have a child. Would you not mind? Don't say that. You are excellent and very charming. What you need is to be more confident. Believe me, you really deserve to be loved. So what if you have a child? Do you lose the right to fall in love after having a child? Zephyr chuckled lightly. His gloomy appearance rarely showed a sunny and comfortable smile. Along with it, Iris's heart also relaxed a lot. Yes, didn't she leave Ethan to start a better life? It wasn't necessary to rush to agree to Zephyr. Just enjoying a better self and enjoying the feeling of being loved was very good. For now, I haven't thought about starting a new relationship, but I will consider your words carefully. Aside, Ethan was easily pinned down by Edmund. Long-term running around and irregular life had long pushed his body to the edge of its limits, not to mention against someone well-trained like Edmund. A trace of ruthlessness flashed in Edmund's deep eyes. "Did you hear what Miss Lane said? She doesn't love you anymore. If you know what's good for you, you'd better give up early." Blood spilled from the corner of Ethan's lips. The look in his eyes staring at Iris's back had an indescribable loneliness. "Hesh, make me give up. Could it be you also want to chase her?" He suppressed the bitterness in his heart and deliberately mocked. "Iris and I have a child. The child is always soft-hearted. As long as I persist, he will forgive me one day. Just based on the fact that I am Sunny's biological father, she will forgive me eventually." False. Iris and Sunny had no love left. He was just putting up a brave front, deceiving himself, trying to provoke Edmund. However, his heart also held such an undue hope. Edmund slammed his elbow hard into Ethan's back and said calmly, "How about we make a bet? I bet she won't forgive you. She and Sunny might choose anyone. That person could be me, could be Zephyr, but the only one it won't be is you." Edmund called the bodyguards and had them escort Ethan directly back to his country. Then, he and Zephyr opened their car doors almost simultaneously. "Shall I take you and Sunny back?" Two men with completely different looks and personalities invited Iris at the same time. She hesitated for a long time, finally giving the decision-making power to Sunny. Sunny looked at Ethan, who was gradually moving away, and chose Edmund without hesitation, for no other reason than feeling safer following Edmund. Seeing this scene, Ethan coughed up a mouthful of blood from deep in his throat. "Iris Lane, how could you? You love me, you love me." Brainwashing himself over and over again couldn't compare to the facts before his eyes. After being sent back to the country, Ethan recuperated for a while and found countless people to research the preferences of Iris and Sunny. A month later, he flew to S City in Country A again. He bought 99.99 blue roses and placed them downstairs at Iris's home. His palm tightly gripped a pair of wedding rings, and in the car behind him, a wedding dress was displayed prominently. Seeing Iris come out, he quickly half-knelt on the ground, holding up the ring with trembling hands. "Iris, regarding the wedding I didn't give you before, let's hold another one, okay? I bought your favorite blue roses, prepared wedding rings, and a wedding dress. I want to tell the world, I love you, I want to marry you." Seeing this scene, Iris hid directly behind Edmund and Zephyr. "Sorry, I stopped liking blue roses a long time ago, and I don't love you. These have no meaning. I don't want to marry you." After rejecting without hesitation, Iris tugged at their sleeves. Edmund kicked Ethan in the chest, fought with him for a few rounds, and subdued him again. "She won't marry you. If you want her to hate you and loathe you, you can continue. I don't mind sending you back to your country again and again." Zephyr smiled sarcastically, his eyes full of contempt. "You, a half-hearted person who hurt Iris, are not qualified to compete with us. Also, Iris agreed to be with me and also agreed to Edmund. You have no chance." Zephyr chuckled, watching Ethan despair, and continued to pierce his heart. "Iris can agree to us at the same time, but won't agree to you. You aren't going to say she's too timing, are you? She just did what you did before. Why so angry?" Ethan was so angry his chest heaved up and down continuously, his eyes almost splitting, asking in disbelief. Iris Lane is what he said true. Iris felt her scalp numb. Just as she was about to open her mouth to deny, she received eye signals from Zephyr and Edmund. Understanding what they meant, she said calmly, "Yes, I will choose anyone, only not you again." Hearing this, the light in Ethan's eyes went out inch by inch, completely despairing. Edmund hooked his lips in satisfaction, called the bodyguards again, and deported him. After the car carrying Ethan disappeared, Zephyr quickly apologized. "Sorry for ruining your reputation. We know you didn't mean to agree to us. But you know, liking someone is uncontrollable. I wanted to drive away this incompetent rival too much." Helping herself solve a big problem, Iris naturally didn't mind. She smiled and shook her head. "It's okay. Sunny and the three of them must have been waiting for us for a long time. We should go find them." Sent back to the country again, Ethan was incredibly decadent. Drunk and dreaming in bars all day, he even had a separate private room. The detectives hired in Country A reported Iris's daily life to him all the time. She was very happy, didn't choose anyone, just slowly raised Sunny, but would never choose him. He had disappointed her thoroughly. There was no chance of redemption. He opened another bottle of wine and poured it down in frustration. In the dead of night, Ethan felt as if he had returned to the past. When university started, he didn't choose to walk towards Sylvia, but passed her and walked towards Iris in the corner, taking her suitcase. We seem to be classmates in the same class. Do you need help? In the dream, they lived happily for a lifetime. When waking from the dream, he was still alone.